All right, man, we finna tour the most expensive house in the world, and if this doesn't motivate you to get your shit together, then it's gonna just make you feel like you ain't doing shit in life. Either way, let's fucking check it out, shall we? Already pulling up in the Aston Martin, and I ain't got no whip, so we're not starting off strong in my case, but at least in the video, way to make an entrance. Golly. Wait, that was the driveway? Hell no.
The top out-of-sight class. Those with immense wealth who live in private luxury, barely glimpsed by the average civilian. This is old money that echoes across generations, weaving the fabric of our collective history and forming the very institutions of our modern world.
Oh my God. Look at that shit, dude. That's like a fucking scene out of like Alice in Wonderland type shit or some Disney movie. I don't know, but that ain't real. This is all CGI. I'm convinced this is CGI. That's not a real crib.
Welcome to Chateau du Champ de Bataille. So welcome to one of the most expensive homes in the entire world. We're here in Normandy, France, where behind me, that's right, that is one of the most expensive homes ever in the world. And in this episode, we're getting a tour of the house, the property, the whole thing. This is the largest private garden in all of Europe, and it's actually so big that we need a golf cart to tour the space.
Yeah, I ain't walking that shit neither.
This is Zachary with Barnes International, and he will be touring us around the grounds.
Bonjour à tous, welcome everyone.
All right, let's roll.
Let's go.
So the estate encompasses over 300 acres of land, consisting of 6 main structures on the property.
300 acres of land is unimaginable. I cannot imagine what that would look like in person. Yet alone, I'm seeing it here on the screen. Like,
the property that we'll be touring, the Grotto and the Indian Palace. We've got the main chateau and the gardens, then the Greek theater and the greenhouse. We're actually staying overnight here at the chateau, but more on that later. Now, before we immerse ourselves into this world of unfathomable wealth and reveal the price tag of this listing, we need to understand the history.
yeah, let's do that.
Chateau du Champ de Bataille, or the Battlefield Castle, was built in 1652 by royal architect Louis Laveau, who takes his place in the history books for designing the Palace of Versailles, where the royal French family lived a mere 20 years after this. This chateau is actually the prototype inspiration for Versailles. Famous French gardener André Lenotre, who created the Gardens of Versailles, also designed the gardens here at this chateau. So this is a piece of living history. Now, during the French Revolution, the chateau was stormed and the furniture was sold throughout France. The home then passed through various owners over the years, even serving as a field hospital during World War II. Then in 1992, the current owner, Jacques Garcia, world-famous French architect and designer, purchased the rundown chateau and has since dedicated the last 30 years of his life restoring this palace to its former glory, and more importantly, filling this chateau with priceless art belonging directly to the French royal family. Everything in here is authentic. For example, these 4 vases here were gifted to Napoleon by the King of Sweden, and they're here in this house. This is an actual human body mummified from Egypt in this house in France. That is wild. It's rumored that Garcia purchases a piece of new art every day. Now, the actual price value of this home, it's nearly impossible to put a number on. But recently, an undisclosed private offer in the multiple 10-figure range was made to purchase the home, and it was declined by Jacques. Rather, it's his dream that the doors of the chateau be open to the world, ensuring that future generations can experience the magic and the mystery of this royal French treasure. And I'm working with Barnes International to market this home for rent. So if you're looking to rent out this chateau, please contact me via email in the description of this video. And with that, we're starting our tour here in the formal gardens.
What's the ticket, my boy? Hey, hold up now. Hold up now.
Which are absolutely colossal.
So we're now at the center of the property.
Yeah.
What's the significance about this behind me?
So
Just
the
where you're
exact place
standing
where
is
we are now, it's the perfect middle of the castle. That means there is 500 meters on that part and 500 also on this one.
So back in 1992, all of what we're looking at right now was just an overgrown field lost to time. Until Jacques found the original garden design plans in the chateau. He then excavated and recreated these gardens exactly how they would have been almost 400 years ago. First, he dug a 550-meter-long canal, which is definitely a defining feature of the property, to feed the vast network of elaborate fountains and water features, such as this circular entrance fountain with these gilded statues of dolphins emerging from the sea, surrounding an ornate globe rising in the center. Even where we're standing right now at the center of the property, you've got these wild clawfoot soaking tubs overflowing with water.
And the cost to turn on these fountains is apparently 20,000 euro just to turn on and run the fountains here. So you could have a jet ski in here. That's how large this is.
It takes a full-time staff of 15 of the best gardeners in all of Europe to maintain and create these elaborate garden designs, consisting of stunning geometrical patterns and even human-sized hedge mazes throughout the property.
On the side of the castle, we have a lawn with chess pieces that are probably 8-9 foot tall here. And look how perfect these are. I'm in shock that they can actually do this. The role of the gardener here at the chateau is, I'd say, the most important role because of how much acreage we have.
And one of the most intricate and prominent design features in the gardens are the symmetrical lattice design box gardens leading up to the front patio of the chateau. Now, the garden is based on the principle of imposing order and symmetry over the land.
And back in the
Just look at how symmetrical everything is, bro. Like, the architectural design in that is phenomenal. I am fucking mind blown. Like, I could only imagine being there, but looking at this it's absolutely insane, dude.
17th century, the #1 way a king could show his flex and his power over the land was symmetry, controlling nature. So if you notice, all the hedges are squares, because you don't find a square like that in nature. And I think that is just fascinating that they had the ability to do that way back then, and that it's been preserved today with this. It's kind of mind-boggling. I also noticed the hedges are cut in the shape of a wave, which are at least 30 feet high. I think the biggest thing I want to drive home is the scale of this place and how you really need a person walking through the gardens to show the whole 45 acres. Like, this is, I've never seen a house like this, ever. I don't think anyone has, because typically stuff like this is off market, especially in France and the Paris market. It's very private, and in the past 3 years, Zachary was saying that they're becoming a bit more public facing, using things like social media to sell, so here we are. Damn. There's also a theater here.
Shit.
Yeah. So it's inspired by a Greek temple, because during the 17th century in Europe, the archaeologists, they just discovered all the Greek temple and everything, so that they were trying to reproduce it in all the biggest home, like this castle, for example.
Wow. So back in the day when they discovered the Greek theater, the wealthiest of the wealthiest wanted to say, hey, I want to have a Greek theater at my home.
Yeah, because for them it was amazing, this discovery. It was completely new. They didn't knew this was existing, because it was like almost 1,000 years before them.
And this is the living stage in the Greek theater. So essentially, they made this garden a replica of the original Greek theater because back in the 17th century, it was so expensive to travel the world where those who were at the upper echelons of wealth would bring the world to their property. So that's what you're seeing here. And it's pretty spectacular. For instance, even behind us, we have ivy, which has been cut to mimic the architecture of the ancient Greek theater.
That is fucking ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I mentioned that there's 15 gardeners that maintain this land. They planted
15?
flowers that start blooming in May and end in October. So the entire year you have bloomed flowers. And that's where that price tag of $1 billion comes from, because you really can't put a price on this because it's history and it's art.
Wow.
There is an Indian temple,
Indian palace, palais in French.
There's an Indian palais on the property.
What?
Essentially, Jacques brought in, I believe it was what, 5 containers?
600.
600 containers of actual materials from India to build this palace.
In 1992.
In 1992, apparently he has parties where he brings in elephants, lions, tigers, and bears.
And the only way to go from here to the Indian Palais is this boat.
I mean, you could walk around, but we're gonna take the boat.
Wild.
So this is the Indian Palais.
Yeah, the Indian Palais, and all of what you see here is really from India. It's not a replica. Jacques Garcia, the owner, he brought all of this by shipping containers.
I'm at a loss for words for
wild.
How large the scale of his thinking is. The fact that, like, it looks like we walked into India. It looks like we are in India right now. So there's a house in the Indian palace, right?
Jacques, when he come here, he's living there.
So welcome to the living room of the Indian Palais, and just take a look around. It's one thing to hear 500 shipping containers, but to see all of the artifacts, like, come look at this. Look at this leopard. Look at this thing. I don't really have words for this, also because we don't know the value of everything. I want to mention that in the price point of this chateau, I believe we were told there's $1 million worth of art alone in the chateau.
I think he said 200
and you can see
million.
just from around me, we have. Look at.
I think he
look at
said
this
200 million. That's my guess.
I don't want to touch anything either.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Hookah lounge.
Shit.
Oh my gosh. What? You know that's real too. There's no way that's fake. What's the most impressive is a lot of times I see homes where people have a theme and it's replications or knockoffs, but the fact that this is all legitimate historical antiques is just, man, it's beyond my pay grade. I don't even know what to say about this. Just look at all these artifacts.
Have you already seen a
You
property
and me
like
both,
this
my
before?
boy. You and me
not
both.
as historically, but definitely where there's themed rooms, but nothing like this.
Yeah, it's the most expensive home in the world, but I think this is priceless.
It's hard to put a value on everything we've seen. So check out this hallway. Apparently now we're going to the indoor swimming pool in the Indian Palais.
This shit better be crazy.
Look at this. Holy crap. I'm gonna go up here. This is a library built into this hallway. Blake, actually, you wanna check this out up here? These books are so old, I'm not gonna touch a single thing. This is also the kind of home where you could spend at least a week here, minimum.
Blake, we didn't
and
see
still
it.
not explore everything. Like, what is that iron door? Where's that go? I smell chlorine, so I guess we're getting close. Yes. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Indoor swimming pool.
It's like a little bathhouse, bro.
Should I? Apparently you can walk around and check out the back of the pool, like if you wanted to come here and dive in. There's a hallway that goes around the entire pool. We're now checking out some of the bedrooms.
That's so
Apparently
fat.
there's 10 bedrooms in the Indian palace. Just look at this, look at that. What the hell?
How do you even eat on
Zachary
that
went
table?
back this way. We're gonna find him now. Like, look at the tapestries here. Another little library sitting area. More tapestries and a never-ending hallway. At the end of the hall, this is one of the bedrooms, one of 10. Again, everything imported in from India. It's all historic. And look at this bathroom. Divided by this solid stone soaking tub here in the middle. Am I having a hard time fathoming how someone over the course of 30 years brought all this here and planned all this out. Also, like, I'm afraid to bump into anything by accident just because, like we mentioned,
you can't
the price
afford it, my boy.
dollars, but it could be more than that just because all the art hasn't really been evaluated. And now we're gonna go check out, well, wait till you see this. So I was told that this is the swimming pool.
Yeah,
The swimming pool is 100 meters long, so that is 2 Olympic-length swimming pools.
Okay. So let me just, when they first showed this, I thought it was just like a pond with some fountains. I had no thought of this being a swimming pool, bro.
And the cost to turn on these fountains is apparently 20,000 euro just to turn on and run the fountains here. I'm truly speechless. You could have a jet ski in here. That's how large this is. And we haven't even seen the main chateau yet. This is just one palace on the land. Right across from the Indian Palais is the Grotto. Now in 2020, during the pandemic, the owner got bored. And while all of us were in our homes, quarantining, watching the news, he built a grotto with a waterfall cascading down volcanic lava rock, which leads down into, our guide actually took us down here last night. Check this out at nighttime.
All right. We've been kidnapped.
This is Ghost Hunters.
Oh.
Guys, we're going into the grotto. We're staying overnight in the castle.
We're ready.
All right.
Flashlights off.
There's actually good lights here.
Yeah.
Now it's turning into a
What?
YouTube tour.
The hell?
What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Nah, you know what goes on in there, bro.
Yeah. Keep it.
You know exactly what goes on in there.
So when do we get sacrificed?
During COVID, he was like bored, and he didn't know.
I don't think bro understood the question. So when were you sacrificed? Oh, during COVID. Okay, cool. Cool.
what to do, and so that idea came up.
He made a grotto.
Making this place, yeah.
You did that too during COVID, right?
Oh yeah.
In the daytime, it's a bit different. So you head on down into this, I don't even know what you would call this, to this temple-like grotto. I mean, the ceilings in here are at least 50 feet. It has a dead center circle in the middle, and all around me are the statues of Greek gods with mirrors behind them, all petrified wood here, lining the columns, supporting the structure, with again that volcanic stone built in around the statues here. The outside of the structure is meant to mimic a volcano, and then you have waterfalls entering through all the sides here, flowing down the stairs, leading into the center basin here, where you have the circular stage. And even if you look up, look at all the carvings of the faces along the ceiling. I was told that the owner has
That's
some pretty
some
crazy
video
parties in
game
here.
shit,
Comment down
dude.
below what you think they use this room for.
So the owner has pretty crazy parties in there, bro. They're fucking sacrificing shit in there, period, point blank. Just look at the fucking statues above this man's head. Like, they are looking down on that man and licking their lips like chopped liver. Like, he's next. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
So this is the final structure on the 45 acres of gardens that we've toured so far. We haven't even seen the castle. We're about to enter what they call the greenhouse. I haven't seen it yet, so we're gonna get my reactions. Apparently this is the spot, so here we go.
You and me both, buddy.
Oh my God. So this is the room off of the entrance where we have all these blue vases and just more art. More art from all around the world here. Again.
It's so fucking vibrant in there, bro.
Worth over $1 million.
Wow.
And now the main event. When they said it was a greenhouse,
Blue room.
I didn't think it would be this. There's a floating bridge with waterfalls on either side with tropical plants everywhere.
This some Disneyland shit. Niggas like me only see this type of shit at Disneyland. This is not real life.
This is insane. This is crazy. The trees are growing out of the stonework. There's sculptures everywhere. There's trees growing out of the floor with holes cut in the carpet here with this statue of, I don't even know what, but holy crap. This is just ridiculous. And apparently, I was told that the piano right behind me here, this is Steinway's piano. So you know Steinway and Sons? This is not the Sons, this is his original piano. Wow. This is crazy. So this is actually, how much does this cost? And I was told that these ferns here, these ferns are apparently 400 years old, which is as old as the castle itself. This is incredible. Okay, let's say hi to everyone. So this is the whole team. It's not just me walking around here. We're getting all the information. This is the team at Barnes, my girlfriend Geraldine. This is Zachary at Barnes.
There's another room here.
A whole nother room.
Yeah, because it's not crazy enough.
I've never seen a garden like this.
That is so mind-blowing, bro.
In the winter
I'd
time,
sit
when
there
it's
and
a little
smoke
depressing
so
and
much
cold, you
weed,
can
it's
come
not
into
even
this
funny.
garden here and just be transformed.
Like, I would sit in that room and just literally attempt to hotbox it. Like, I don't know if you could, but I would try. Fuck that. Challenge accepted. Let's rent it up, boys.
Ported into the tropics. I can't describe to enough the intricacy of all the thought that went into the specific plants here, the design of the water, the lily pads. It's really something else, and it's hard to put a price on this. And at the very end here, there's a platform. Oh, wow, look at this. With an aerial view top down of the garden. This is unreal.
Come on. Can we just take a field trip to this bitch? Like, we need somebody to fund it. How we need to know how much it costs so I can see if me and all the homies could just pitch in and do what we can do, right? Do what it do. Turn up. Even that walkthrough was just elegant. It's a vibe.
We're actually spending the night at the castle. I wouldn't say it's scary.
It's terrifying.
It's a little scary. Our room didn't have a light, and they actually bought up a floor lamp just because it was so dark in here. All right, it's now the next morning. Not the best sleep of my life, but not the worst.
So what Buddy told us is that the beds need to be refurbished and renovated type shit.
I'm looking for some coffee. Day 2 at the Chateau. Dressed back up, had my coffee. Staying overnight here, it's really giving us the experience of what it would be like to actually own this. And even with the weather changes, we've got a bit more moody feel today, overcast. But I'm excited, let's get into it and start the tour off. We've seen the Indian Palace, we've seen the greenhouse, all 45 acres of the garden. Are you ready to see inside the chateau? Let's check this out.
Boy.
So right in the entry, we have
you know how much it
royal
costs too,
foyer
shit.
here with all this stone on the ground, the columns. The home was built in 1651 and took 10 years to complete. It has 40 bedrooms, 5 living rooms, 2 dining rooms. The square footage, they don't even know. And we're only actually touring 1/4 of this castle. This side over here is private. The owner lives on this side, so we're touring, I guess you could call it the public side, but it's still pretty crazy. Let's start heading up the stairs off of the foyer. Look at this stairwell. Like triple width stairwell here. Look at this stonework, the wrought iron railings, statement stairwell if I have ever seen one. So onto the second floor here, we're gonna head off to my right. I mean, and I wanna also point out the artifacts. I'm not gonna actually touch this because it took 30 years to collect all the art in here. And again, I wanna mention the art is worth north of $1 million. Off of the stairwell.
200 million, I'm calling
welcome
it.
to the formal dining
If Buddy
room
decides to let us
reception area.
know, I'm calling
This is where
it
the
200
king
million.
would greet his guests. It's also where they would feast. You notice all the silverware. I want to point out again, everything in here is authentic. For example, these 4 vases here were gifted to Napoleon by the King of Sweden, and they're here in this house. As we go out throughout the home, we'll point out a few more artifacts, but this is the entertaining room for when your guests arrive to the chateau. You've got views there to the south, the north of the courtyard, Juliet balconies. The ceilings are about 30 feet high or 10 meters, and you can just see the scale of this room. It is massive. Now from the dining room, we've got your parlor or your great room here, and this is decorated in typical 17th century French decor. Again, everything you see in here is authentic. For example, this is a portrait of Marie Antoinette young, and then on the other side of Marie Antoinette old. This over here is actually the wheelchair of Marie Antoinette's son. His actual wheelchair. He had a disability and this is what he used to get around. And that's actually a painting of him right above here. I want to also point out that the typical French living room in the 17th century was decorated like this, where it's the opposite of minimalism. Every piece of the wall is covered in art, the furniture from the formal living room. We've got the pool hall. And this is an original pool table from Louis XIV. His doctor actually prescribed that after he ate to play pool to help with his indigestion. And this is his original table here, just chilling in the chateau. Then at the end here, again, this typically is closed off because this is actually where the owner of the chateau is living full time. So unfortunately, we can't tour that. If we look behind me, you can really see the entire length of this chateau here. And again, let's walk and talk. They actually don't even know the square meters or the square feet of this castle. So formal living room, back into your dining room. And again, we don't know the actual square footage of the chateau. I would guess anywhere from 60 to 80,000 square feet. Off of the formal dining room, we're back to the main stairwell area.
That's so fat.
And this is the ballroom in the chateau. If you look up all the artwork on the ceiling, you have beautiful crown molding. This is all gold leafed. Every single detail in here. Again, over 30 years it took to design everything out to be as if you were in 17th century France here. I really want to point out the level of detail on the gold leafing here. It's on the walls, the ceilings, and even if you look up, you have this artwork on the ceiling here with the angels, the chandeliers. These are all crystal chandeliers here. These bronze statues. Again, we don't know the individual value of certain pieces, but the total sum is $1,000. Out of the ballroom here, we're now entering the home office, the study. Original desk here, all original chairs. Again, look at the ceiling here. You've got beautiful artwork on the ceiling, the gold leafing throughout. And again, the entire wall space is covered with original art from the French Revolution. Every room in the chateau also has a wood-burning fireplace because back in the day, it's the only way you're gonna heat this place. So from the office, we have a little hallway which connects us to the king's chambers. So this is where the king of the Chateau slept, right here.
Damn.
For instance, as far as the artifacts, these two boxes on either side are from Imperial Japan. That's original silver there with the artwork on those boxes here. Over top, crystal chandelier, fireplace. Again, just look at the gold leafing detail here on every single wall. Super impressive. Leaving the king's bedroom, back on through his private
Where the
hallway.
TV at?
Into the study room right off of here. This is pretty wild. Welcome to your double height ceilinged library here in the Chateau. Take a look at this. There's over 20,000 rare books in here. You've got catwalks surrounding the library on the second floor, open to the floor down below. 20,000 historical books in here. And at either end of the library, there's two mummies. This is an actual human body, mummified from Egypt, in this house in France. That is wild. I even saw voodoo dolls at that end, and these look like spell books, so there's no words for this. That's why it's truly like, you can't put a price on this. And with that said, we don't actually know the true value of this estate. We can only guess. There's also hidden doors throughout the entire home. And these are only the ones that we've been showing. I'm sure there's a lot more. Check out what's behind here. This is the game room where we have an ostrich skeleton,
Some meow
turtles
shit
on the
right
walls,
here.
a panther. We haven't even gone up here yet, and I'm curious. Let's check out what's up here. The whole wall is lined with tortoise shells. We're now going up into one of the towers of the Chateau.
I know Pima mad as fuck.
And now we're just... Oh, there's no lights in there. I'm not going in there. Come on, let's check it out.
Hey, there you go, buddy.
Got some pheasants. What the heck? This is actually crazy. Could you imagine? Look at this. Could you imagine if this was your bedroom? And to get to your bedroom, you had to walk through the game room, through the secret passageway in the library. Again, there's 40 bedrooms in this house. This is one of 40. You saw the king's room. Check out the bathroom. A tub fit for royalty with a view of the gardens here. All right, let's head out of this bathroom. And it's tough because we can't really show you every single bedroom. I think this is the blueprint of the castle here on the wall. You can just see how large it is. I honestly think it's probably more than 60 to 80,000 square feet. I'm thinking closer to 100,000 because there's rooms that I'm sure we will not even see or have access to.
Mind blowing.
So up this stairwell, there's another wing where there's more bedrooms, but we're gonna head back down past all these dead beetles and turtle shells. I want to point out also, like, I was kind of, it's kind of jarring to see all this. It's a bit antiquated having dead animals on your wall like this, but I guess back in the day, in the 17th century, this was the norm. All right, finally back downstairs. There's just so much here. Oh, we're locked. Yeah, we're locked. We have to go back the other way. All right, we made our way back down. We're now at the lower level of the library. So if you look up, you can see the wraparound balcony and just the height of the ceiling in here.
Walk, buddy.
And again, these are all books from the mainly 18th and 19th century. Lots again of French Revolution pieces. Now out of the library, there's a back hallway which connects the front hallway here, which we're gonna go to right now, where we left off upstairs when we were locked up there in the dead zoo, I guess you could call this. Not gonna show too much of this, but maybe just a little quick shot down this hallway to get the perspective of the dead zoo. Pretty gnarly. And this is for perspective. For perspective, we were up there and this was locked. So if we continue on, there's a little room here. I'm not even sure what this is for, but this is the chapel in the Chateau. This is a proper church in it? That just happens to be in the Chateau. Wow. Again, you got the double height ceilings here.
Yeah, I wouldn't stay in the Chateau.
All these religious relics in here. And I'm not going to begin to even try to explain any of this just because I really don't even know. And I feel like most people here don't know because there's just so much. There's so many artifacts from all over the world. And just, I don't really have much to say about this part. It's really intense. The dead zoo, animals from all over the world mounted in this hallway. Comment down below what you think of this. It's pretty intense.
Pima losing their fucking
now we're
mind
back to the
right
main
now.
foyer right there.
WWF,
And
all
what's
that.
down this door is actually pretty crazy. So we're now going subterranean in the chateau. And as you come down here,
Underground,
instantly it's like
if you didn't
5
know.
to 10 degrees cooler than upstairs. And this is where the kitchen is in the chateau, because back in the day, kitchens weren't something that you would show off. The kitchen was below the home where you would store the firewood. You've got the pans here. They even have those subterranean windows so you can let in light. And if you peek in here, this is traditionally what it would be like and where the staff would be living, because it is the warmest part of the house. So the beds are in the kitchen here. And I was told that the biggest cause of fire in these chateaus was here in the kitchen. So that's why someone would be sleeping here at all times in case things went crazy. But this is set up in the way it would be in 1650.
That's wild.
And then if we continue on, the ceiling gets a little lower.
Does anyone use the kitchen?
There's another
Like,
area over
or it's
here where
just
you would be
blocked
butchering
off?
your meat. You have all the quail hanging, a boar for dinner. Going even further back, getting even colder, this is the wine storage here, an actual wine cellar. And at the very end, this is pretty crazy. This is where you would store your fruit from the summer. So you would harvest all your apples in the fall, bring them down here for the winter, and they would stay preserved just because the temperatures are so cool. And then even in this room, there's a fireplace to heat the place. And then there's actually another stairwell at the back of the kitchen, which leads us up. And instantly it gets warmer. It's pretty incredible how the subterranean kitchen actually cools the food. And now we're back where we were by the chapel and the dead zoo. For reference, we're back in the foyer. That's the front door. This is the back door, which leads into the chateau courtyard.
This crib
Which
is
is
so
super
fucking
impressive,
mind
especially
blowing.
from the view of the drone, seeing how large this courtyard is in comparison to a human, or even had the car pulling up earlier. And here you get the true perspective of the chateau. So behind me, that's where we're sleeping. That's actually for rent, so you can actually rent those rooms out and stay here. There's a restaurant
what's
off
the
to the
ticket?
left here, and then behind me, this is where the owner lives. So we haven't even toured this entire wing, and we haven't even toured the wing behind us here for a perspective of just how freaking huge this chateau is. Of everything we've seen, what was the craziest, the most impressive, the most beautiful thing that you saw? Again, I want to thank the teams at Barnes International for giving us the opportunity to come out here to Normandy and share something that no one has really seen up until this point. If you're new here, subscribe, give the video a like, and with that, we will see you in the next video.
Bro, all I'm going to say is, if that doesn't motivate you to get your money up, then I don't know what the fuck else does. I mean, other than just like living comfortably, but like, wouldn't that provide the ultimate comfort? Man, y'all let me know, what was your favorite part of the entire tour? Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and follow button. Oh, and just to let y'all know, I'm taking my bullshit to Twitch, so you're going to want to follow me there, young_hip, HYPP, and PP, crazy. And until next time, see ya.